And what she did is took recyclable boxes, and she gathered up all these boxes, and again showed people how you take the box, you cut it a certain way, and you make these cat scratch things that they can use, and then they throw out. You know, cats pee on them or whatever, you just throw them out. But instead of paying, you know, $4 or $5 for a cat scratch pad, she got them using recycled materials. The cardboard that would have been thrown out or recycled, she brought it in. So it was basically zero cost to put those together. All right, so that's what I'm hoping your brains are thinking about, all the things that you can do, you can make. And at the end of this, after I give you how to do it, we're going to brainstorm. And if you do have ideas and if you do have questions, feel free. And if this is a really scary place to ask a question, that's fine. On the sheet, you see here, contact info for Debbie St. Ange. There's my home number. I do have a landline still. There's my cell number. There's my email. And I'm on Facebook if you want to send me a message. You don't even have to friend me. You can just send me a message. Or a text. Whatever, you know, if you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. Because I'm here to help you. And that's the whole purpose of a mentor, is here to help you. So we're going to start off with the red one. All right, the red one here. And I'm going to wake up my computer. So what I'm going to do is after this, I'm going to send your leaders these documents. So they're going to have them in a PDF or a Word document. I will send all of these that we talk about to your leaders. So in addition, I printed off the ones that I thought were most important for you to have in your hands just to look at with me. But there's a whole bunch of others that are kind of big, and I'm going to show them to you. But this is called hard copy in the computer world. That's soft copy. Soft copy is something you send electronically. And I will send those to you, and you can use them. I have templates for doing all the different pieces. So if you look at this, you'll see this silver process. This tells you how to do it from start to finish. Basically, everybody in here has done their journey, right? Yeah? You have one journey to do. When you go on to the gold, if you did your silver, you do one journey at the gold level, and you do your gold project. If you don't do your silver, you have to do 2 journeys at the gold level. Just letting you know, okay? So the silver does count towards something for the gold. It is a stepping stone there. So what you go through here, if you want me to be your mentor, that's the first one there. If you want me to be your mentor, and I'm totally available if you want. If you don't want me to be your mentor, if I scare you for some reason, I'm told sometimes I scare people. This is the mentor agreement. You can go to council and ask them to find another mentor. But basically what I say in the mentor agreement, and you can look at the yellow, is basically we're a team. I'm here to help you. I'm not just a scribble on a piece of paper, okay? I'm here at the beginning. I will help you decide what you want to do for your project. You know, if you come up with this awesome idea, let's say the cat scratch toys, but you're shy and you just want to do it yourself, you don't want to involve any friends, is that a silver? No, it has to have some leadership. So I'm going to kick you out of your nest. That's what I tell my kids. I kick them out of the nest, the baby bird, you know, push you out of your comfort zone and say, you know, you need some leadership. Let's think about some people we can pull in. And you know what? If you're really scared, I can help you because we work with like the senior center and those people are really friendly. Any of you guys who've been there for bingo, they would be glad to be your first workshop. You know, there's friendly people I can find out there. You're a little bit scared, but just okay. Because that's part of what the mentor is. I'm helping you grow, right? And when we get terrified and scared and we come out the other side, a lot of times we're stronger, right? So I'm here to help you get stronger. And that's what it says here. I have you sign it, I have your parents sign it, and I have your troop leader sign it, basically saying we're all a team. Keep me in the loop. something goes bad, make sure you call me and we can talk about how to work through it, right? Because I've had people do that. Their project, all of a sudden what they were going to do, the person they were working with quit the organization and the new person won't let them do it and we have to find something else to do. That's okay. Everything that happens, we can work together to get through it, right? Okay? So that's basically what the mentor, and if you want me to be your mentor, you need to fill that out. And I'm so glad that so many parents are here because I want to make sure we're all on the same page. That's my sole purpose, is to help your girls succeed. And I'm here to do that. One of the other things I'm going to go through here is what they need to do. I'll start off with the journey workshop. Okay, journey write-up, sorry, not workshop. What they do, the journey that they did, they have to tell us what they learned from it. And there is a template for that, and I haven't opened it yet, and I will. And I don't have that printed in there, but again, I will send it to them. So basically, you can see right there, it says journey. Whatever the name of the journey was that you did, your name, your troop number, date, journey summary. Very important. If I have 30 girls sending me files and they're all called journey write-up, that's going to be a little challenging, all right? So, you would say, I'm going to pick on Maddie. Maddie DeStefano's journey write-up, okay? So did everybody understand? You put your name in the name of the file, okay? Yeah? So that I don't get 20 files named journey write-up, because then I have to go through and make sure I name it properly so they don't overwrite each other. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to put in whatever journey you did, and then you're just going to go in there and type, what was your project? How did you guys choose it? What did you learn? What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about others? Well, there's been some interesting things about others. It's like, I asked the guy at Home Depot to donate this and he never got back to me. Well, you learn, sometimes people don't get back to you. That's a good thing. And then how will your journey help? Sometimes what you did as a journey directly ties into your goal, but everybody learns how to plan. Everybody learns how to get things done. So that's all you do there for your journey. It's pretty straightforward. And then after you do a journey write-up, you're going to do a proposal. And let me pull that up. There's two parts to the proposal. You see this, how it has the Girl Scout Hudson? This is where you're going to put in all your information. And it's very straightforward stuff. And here, have I attended? This is it. So guys, make sure you write down in your folder, today, October 7th, right? Strive for the Silver Workshop. So when you fill this out, you don't have to ask me, when did we do that? All right, October 7th, that's today. And all this stuff is pretty straightforward. I'm your mentor. There's a difference between a mentor and an advisor. For example, when Taylor was doing her benches at Netherwood, her advisor was the principal. The advisor is the person who is your contact at the organization. They will sign off to say, you have permission to do this project at the beginning, and they will sign off at the end saying, yes, you did this, okay? So I'm a mentor, but you also need a project advisor. A lot of times when you're working in a school, it's the principal. At the SPCA, it was the volunteer coordinator. There's somebody out there with the organization. If you do it with the Hyde Park Rec, then it's recreational director. Somebody you're working with who's going to sign off and say, yes, she can do it. And yes, she did it, okay? So you guys understand what a project advisor is? Now, this. Working individually. I would really, 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 really prefer that you guys work individually. because it gets complicated if you work together. That doesn't mean you can't do projects that are related, but they want to see that you have your own leadership. So a lot of times, let's say two girls want to do this trail. So let's split the trail, all right? One girl is responsible for this part of the trail, one girl is responsible for that part of the trail, one girl maybe is responsible for the birdhouses going up, another girl is responsible for the signage going up. Somehow you have to, if you're working with a buddy, each of you have some part that you are responsible for. For example, my girls, I had 4 of them do a workshop for their silver. They were helping kids learn about healthy habits. Each one of them. One girl was responsible for the healthy eating station. One girl was responsible for the hair, you know, how to take care of your hair station. One girl was responsible for the exercise station, and I forget what the 4th girl was, but you can have up to 4 people working on a project, but there you see they each had their thing to research, they each had their thing to teach. It was together but separate. Do you guys understand? Okay. So if you're going to work together, make sure that you have a way to do together but separate. Because when you do your paperwork saying, this is what I'm going to do, you would say, okay, I'm doing the healthy eating section, but my other friends are going to do other stations, but this is what I'm doing. And that as such, when you do your budget, you're going to have different budgets because you're each responsible for different parts. All right. So, you know, basically you're going to list the people helping you, and you're going to say when I want to start, when I think I'm going to finish, and then this right up here, I will show you. Let me get back to this part here. DocX there. That's the journey right. Here's the silver proposal. Again, I've done this so that it's easy for you. You see how the questions are in bold? I want you to use this template because instead of having this one large paragraph of word mush that may or may not answer all those questions, this way you are absolutely sure that you answered each of those questions. And it's easy for the people at council to say, yes, she answered the question. They don't have to go through this one blob of a paragraph and say, oh, this answer is here, this answer is there. So you need to use the template that I send to you to write up your project. And here it says, okay, describe your project. Who are you targeting? Well, it may be the cats at the SPCA, it may be the kids in Netherwood, you know, you're going to say who you're going to help. And you're just going to go through all of this and answer the questions. And it's not that hard, but when you send it to me, what I'll do is I'll read through it and I'll give you feedback. I'll say, oh, can you change this? Can you add something here? Don't feel like you failed, because you didn't. It usually takes 2 or 3 backs and forths to get it to the point where it's ready to go. That happens to us. Anybody do that at work? I'm sure the adults, right? You're doing a project and you get feedback from your peers and you're working on it, and it takes a while to get it from its beginning to where you say it's a polished, ready to roll thing. That's normal, okay? So please don't feel like, you know, we're a team. We're working, we're going to make it happen. And we're going to make it so that you shine. So a lot of times when I say, oh, why don't you, instead of saying, I built a whole bunch of times, I created, right, I developed, I look for more words that you can put in there that kind of bring out what you did, kind of gives it pizzazz. So we're going to do that together, and it just, like you estimate here. You see how it says estimated? I'm going to bring up my budget because this is an important thing to show you. You see that budget there? When you're estimating, all they want to know is that you took a little bit of time to think about it. They're not going to say, oh, this is what you estimated, and look, what you ended up was nowhere close to that. They're not going to grade you on that. They want to see that you put some time into it, okay? And you see how I have there the yarn? The expense was $39, but $26 was donated. make sure you include your donated stuff. Even if the project cost you $0, right? It may have cost you $0, but all those things that people gave you were worth something. That helps tell people how much your project was worth, right? So if somebody donated $100 worth of lumber to you, that doesn't mean your project's worth $0, right? So on the income, you say someone gave me $100 worth of materials, right? And for my project and expense, I used that $100 worth of materials. And that's where a lot of girls leave off the value of their project. The donated stuff counts. And make sure you put it in there so you get credit for it. So here, how do you plan to tell others about it? That one is a really important one too. You need to share it. Like when you're doing workshops. Let's say you're doing those workshops for those cat toys. Who are you going to advertise? Are you going to go, maybe there's a group, the Ecology Club here at Haviland. There's the Ecology Club that Mrs. Penny runs. Maybe you advertise it there because you're recycling things and making them into cat toys. Or you might decide to advertise at the SPCA and see if you can, run a workshop there and bring people in. There's a lot of different ways to do that. So here they just want to see that you kind of brainstormed on how am I going to get people involved. You might say, oh, I'm going to ask my troop leader to put a Facebook post out in the Girl Scout page. If you're doing something, let's say you're doing something with Girl Scouts and you want to pull more Girl Scouts in, it depends on who your target audience is. Who's going to help you? So that's what, and then again, they just want to see that you thought about how you're going to do that. If it ends up that you end up with a whole bunch of Cub Scouts helping you instead of Girl Scouts, that's not a problem. That's just in your final write-up. So to start your project, you need to think of what you want to do. You need to write up your journey. You need to write up your wordage about your project. And you need to do the council form. And you send all those to me, and I work with you. And once we have it ready to go, I say, yay, you are approved. After you're approved, you go out and you make it happen. If you need help along the way, you ask me. And then you have to finish it by September 30th of the year you graduate 8th grade. So you guys are 7th graders, right?
We have 6th graders here.
Okay, all right. So let me use the 7th graders as an example just now. So they have from now all the way next September, they're going to be 8th graders, right? The following September, so September of 2021 to finish. However, if I'm your mentor, you better finish that by August. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, you're going to be on my bad list. Because when you finish 8th grade, where are you going in September? High school. High school is intense. You got all that activity, you got loads of homework. So many girls leave their paperwork and they don't do it in August when they should, and then they're struggling and I'm struggling because my September is chaos too. So please plan on finishing it up by August of 2021. Those of you who are 6th graders, it would be August of 2022. Technically, you have to September 30th, but you will have a very cranky mentor if you don't finish it up by August. All right? Does everybody understand why? Yes, September is miserable, both for parents and kids. It's just, I wish I would move the deadline for real. All right. So that's what you do to start off. The finishing up, after you finished your project, you do a write-up and you do a document to submit, and again, you submit it to me. But I wasn't going to delve into that. I will send the final documents to your leader, and they can share it with you. But I see sometimes if I dump too much on you, let's focus on beginning, right? And when we get closer to the end, we can focus on what we need to do to finish up. So I wanted to show you this document I pulled together. All right, so there is the asphalt at Netherwood. That's what my girls did. My daughter is 27, so they did it probably 15, 16 years ago. It's no longer there because it got paved over. So sometimes you have projects like that that are no longer there. Sometimes you have projects that last, like Taylor's benches, will last a long time. And sometimes your project, like the cat scratch toys, yeah, you made the toys, you donated them to the SPCA, but what's enduring is that you have all these people you taught how to do that, and they signed these pledges. Those pledges are your enduring part. They said, I'm going to continue to do this, and I will share it with people. And that girl also made a YouTube video showing how to create it. So that's out there. So you guys see, sometimes there's a physical enduring, and sometimes there's a how-to enduring, and there's enduring in how you've educated these people and they're going to carry on. So every silver project needs to endure. How it endures varies. Okay? Again, this on the left there is the dog beds that Sierra did. Over here are the bathrooms, and then up there you see tire caterpillars. I've had lots of girls, in fact one did one at a park too, do those tire caterpillars because they are really cheap. You go to a farm and you get large tires, and you dig and you bury them halfway. You don't need cement, you don't need anchoring stuff, seriously. You can come and see the ones in my backyard. They don't move. And so it's really inexpensive. A bunch of the girls, like at the children's home and then at this park, they got paint for rubber and they painted the tires. So you can do that. But it is a really fun thing. And then what made it, they had the volunteers come and help them put it in. But what they did also is they came up with different games to use with the tire caterpillars. And like at the children's home, they brought the kids out and they taught the kids how to play different games with the tire caterpillar. So they kind of shared that knowledge. Oh, you guys can play chase, you can play tag, you can play jump over this one, jump over that one. Can I jump up on top? Can I jump down? You know, different ways to use the tire caterpillar. So that was part of their leadership. There's also, I don't know if you can see it that well because this guy kind of moved up here. Let's put him back where he was supposed to be. Fitness trail. Both Netherwood and Ralph are open to having a fitness trail put in. And the cool thing, how many people have seen a fitness trail when you've gone hiking or whatever? Do you know, anybody? No? Yeah? You kind of have, like at this step, you're going to do steps up, step down, step up, down. At this one, you have pull-ups. You know, at each station, they have something. And so the thought was, way back, around the perimeter of Netherwood, and then a girl could take on one or more stations depending on how intense the station was, get volunteers to build it, and then teach the kids there how to use it. Or have a open house and have the public come in. That's what's always cool. Like Taylor had an open house for her benches. The board came and she talked to them about it, and then they had a ribbon cutting ceremony. So when you finish, make sure you celebrate, right? Because you've done something awesome. So I always try to encourage the girls to find some way to celebrate what you've accomplished. So that's a possibility. Is the fitness trail there? I don't know if you guys can see this. Ralph R. would like activities on the blacktop, like I showed you that the kids at Netherwood did. So painting on the blacktop. People want buddy benches. That's another idea. Let's see what else. This is a kind of cool knot there that we saw at one of the Boy Scout camps. Oh, video, that's right. See, I have a list that when people say stuff to me, I try to jot it down. Hyde Park Rec. How many of you guys have been in the bathrooms there? Yeah, they're painted white, right?
They just changed it actually, it's red, and they put on some aesthetic stuff.
Oh, they painted the whole inside of the bathrooms red?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's weird. Like,
Oh.
you're talking about the town pool, right?
Yeah, the town pool, the bathrooms.
Yeah, they just did stenciling and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, cause I was there for community day and it was still white.
When I was there over the summer, they were red. They had done them, and they had put stenciling on the bathroom. They had did like little seahorses or something. I don't know.
Right, they
It's
had the
really weird.
stenciling, but the walls were white.
I thought it was red.
Okay. Alright, well, way back, and there's a new rec director, so we'd have to go check it out. They painted those white because a Girl Scout was supposed to do her project there and she didn't quite follow through. So that's why they were white back then, and she was gonna paint all sorts of camp scenes on there. So that was one potential project. Again, another Girl Scout, and I have this happen. I have girls interested in projects and sometimes it just doesn't happen. And that's what I tell the people we're working with. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't happen, but I'm hoping all of you guys follow through. Yeah. So at the Hyde Park Police Department, they wanted a couple picnic tables and they wanted them painted. You know, some of you guys are very artistic. I'm not, but some of you are very artistic. They wanted them painted with different, you know, scenes, police scenes. So you'd have to research and get that approved. But that's what they wanted for the police to sit out, you know, on a nice day. And maybe, you know, if someone came in and had to report a crime, they could take them outside and just sit in a more calm place to talk to them. So I would have to check back to see if they actually physically got picnic tables, but that was on their wish list way back. Let's see what else is on here. Oh yeah, one of the rescues, the puppy rescue that I work with, would like a video documenting what they do so that they would have this video to share with the public. So that's something, if somebody's really into, you know, filming and editing and mixing and all that, you could make a film and interview people and go out and do research, and you could do a long version and a short version, and so there's lots of things out there. So at this point, I'm going to ask you if you have any questions for me.
Can you get like music video?
You could put music with it, yes. You just have to, could you make it for something else? Not for the puppies, but for, you could. You'd have to think about what is your purpose of that? How are you sharing your knowledge? How are you helping somebody? How are you making things better? So we could talk about what purpose you want that music video to have. But yeah, certainly, if that's your skill and your expertise and you want to grow it, yeah, there's a way to change, you know, make that into a silver project.
Debbie, a couple of weeks ago, you and I were talking about some ideas, and you mentioned that it should be for a not-for-profit organization, not a for-profit.
Right, and that's what, if you go out and, for example, one of my girls wanted to do a mural for the Chance. This is the place that fell through, but I'm going to use her as an example. Initially, she wanted to do a mural inside the Chance, and that was not allowed because the benefit of her project would be the paying customers of the Chance. She got it changed so she could do one on the outside because that would liven up the neighborhood. So people benefiting from the mural on the outside of the building would be everybody, not just the paying customers. And then the person she was working with quit, and she's the one that, she actually moved to a nonprofit, the Lunchbox, and did her mural there. But yes, that is a really good point. You can't take the place of somebody that would pay for something, so it's dicey if you get to do it for paying. Like, let's say your family owns this business and they would love you to do this project for them and it's benefiting them. That's not good. But if your family owns a business and they make donations to your project and you're doing it, let's say for the town park, they can help you that way. But you can't do something that benefits a business. Okay, does everybody understand that? Yeah. Well, you have to have some part that lives on. So when you do your workshops or such, let's say you're teaching people how to knit hats for premature babies, right? So you get them to sign pledges. I've learned how to do this. I will continue making these or donating them to, let's say, Baxter Hospital or I want to say St. Francis, but it's not St. Francis anymore. But so as long as you get people to pledge to say, I'm going to continue it, you know, your workshops themselves will be a short-term thing, but what you spread won't. Okay. So that's the key, is when you're doing those things, make sure you get the pledge and get people to sign the pledge card saying, I'm going to continue. Whether they do or they don't is nothing you have control over, but you want to get some people to say, I think this is worthy and I'm going to continue it. Any other questions? Anybody have any ideas they want to throw out there, things you've thought about? And again, if you don't want to do it in this environment, that's totally okay. You know how to reach me. You can talk to your troop leaders if you want. You can talk to your parents. You know, you may volunteer someplace already that you want to ask them about doing something for them. Because there's a lot of cool organizations out there. I know, like the Garden by St. James, they had wanted some signs done. And so a scout got together people to do some signs with them. She didn't do it as a silver, she did it as a ruby.
Should we get permission from the project advisor first before we do a submission to you?
You
If
do
it's a
want to
bogus
talk to
idea,
them.
then
Right.
it's not.
Right, definitely, that's a good point. If you're gonna do, let's say you're gonna paint the bathrooms at Hyde Park Rec, well, you would have to talk to the recreational director or Teresa, yes, I couldn't mangle her name, but she's the rec director right now, and say, is this even a possibility? And what would you want done if it is? You know, do you want to leave the stencils that they put up there and just decorate this part, or? So yes, you need to have some buy-in from somebody before you write it up. And you may want to show them the paperwork. You'll have the proposal form and say, you know, you're going to have to sign here that says I have permission to do this project. And they may say, okay, I'm going to sign once you write it up. And that, so it's kind of, you got to write it up before they'll sign, but you got to talk to them first to make sure it's even a possibility. And they may want to go through and say, well, you know, I want to tweak this and make sure, you know, if you're going to paint it, that you don't use just donated colors. I want, you know, this to be pink and this to be purple, and, you know, they may have a specific thing in mind. And you guys all finished your journey, so you can start once you graduate 6th grade.
Yeah, the 6th graders are working on it.
Okay, all right, so once you graduate 6th grade, that's the key. That's the, you could have everything lined up, ready to roll, but I can't take it and approve it until I can work with you, I can talk to you about it. You can share some stuff with me, but we can't approve it until you graduate 6th grade.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do we have to, does everybody here have to run it by you specifically, or is that only if you're a mentor?
Only if you want me to be your mentor.
Got it, okay.
If you go to council and you ask council to give you a mentor and you find somebody else, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Can we mentor our own children?
No, you have to go through this grueling training on how to be a mentor.
Okay,
And then I have to go get renewal every couple of years, so
okay.
it's,
It's interesting.
and even so, I couldn't be a mentor to my own kids,
Mm-hmm.
even with the training. I could be a mentor to girls in Hyde Park that weren't in my troop, but they don't want leaders to be mentors for their own girls.
But can we work with our children?
Almost certainly. Yeah, parents are definitely part of the team. Parents are a really big part of the team too, you know? You gotta drive them places.
So, just to be clear on that, the troop leaders are, I'm only responsible for my own, for Maddie. Miss Diana's responsible for Bella. I'm not responsible for my 8 other girls. That's where all the parents come in.
That's where the parents come in.
different from-
They can ask you questions, you know, and you're part of, you guys have to sign off on the thing saying Miss Debbie is part of the team on the mentor agreement. But no, and sometimes troop leaders, like when I had girls that I knew their parents were busy, the parents weren't able, they had lots of other things, so I helped them along. So as a troop leader, but I also sew patches on for all my girls too, so I don't expect you to do that level of, but you can. It's totally how you guys want to work it, but yes, this is the girl taking the initiative and having the parents help her and the troop leader help her a little, but the girl taking the initiative. When you get to the gold level, it really should be mostly girl. I mean, I'm there as a gold mentor for people to, I review their paperwork, I help them out if they get into a sticky situation, we talk through things, but it's like 90% girl and a little bit of mentoring. Silver is a little bit more involvement of the adults, but you're working up there, and you know, your bronze was a lot more involvement of the adults.
So, who would be our mentors? Like, I know that you could be one of our mentors, but could there be anybody else that could be our
Most certainly, at council, and council covers a whole lot of area. And I've mentored girls that are down in Westchester. I've mentored girls I have never physically met, which is no problem to me because you know what? As an engineer at IBM, I work with people in India and China and down in Texas. I work with tons of people I have never met. So I have no problem doing a remote mentoring with girls. And if you wanted to set up with somebody, I think I'm the only mentor in Hyde Park area, but you can certainly call, and the person, if you want to write down her name's Michelle Diamanti, Diamanti. She's at council, and you can say, hey, I want a list of silver mentors, and she will give you a list of people who are current on the silver education, and then you can talk to her, and that's fine. I will not be offended whatsoever, don't worry. But I really am not that scary either. Any other questions? If you guys have ideas you want to talk about, I am more than happy to see after. We can talk one-on-one. If you guys want to go home and digest this and talk to me later, that's totally cool too. All right?
Thank you.
Thanks. And you'll send that to me, Kristen.